Folks, the ramifications of China and US trade war are being felt far and wide. It's a big issue right now. There's a lot of uncertainty. So today's video, I'm going to answer the question, should you trade Chinese correlated stocks or stocks impacted by China? That's what we're going to get into today. First, I want to make sure that you've heard the big news about my First Strike portfolio service. When it launched, it sold out almost immediately. Now I'm excited to announce that it's performing so well that now for a very limited time, we have the capacity to bring in a few members on board. Click the button below this video to find out more now. I'll even give you a free stock pick, and my track record speaks for itself. So the question is, should you trade Chinese correlated stocks or US stocks that are correlated to this trade war or have cross-currency impact? That's really the issue. So let me explain to you this issue in a different way. The longer something, and this is kind of a silver lining, okay? The longer something stays on top of our heads, the quicker it becomes assimilated into the stock market. For example, all right, about 6-7 months ago, before we had the December and the November downside in the stock market, a lot of investor bankers and a lot of analysts were saying that the stock market, if China has this trade war, if we have this trade war with China, the stock market's going to go down about 10%. All right? Basically, what they were saying was that the stock market is overvalued by 10% based on the data they're getting from the trade war. Well, several months later, they're saying that the impact of the trade war is now only about 5%. And there's several reasons for that. One reason for that is GDP has been extremely solid. Employment and wage data has been extremely solid. And most importantly, earnings. Earnings have been better than expected. And interest rates are still near historic lows. So there's a lot of factors driving the stock market higher aside from China. If the stock market was in a bear market climate, things would be really, really bad. But we're not. We're in a raging bull market, and China is the only wet blanket, okay? It's as simple as that right now. And Trump really needs to resolve China trade war if he wants to be reelected next 4 years. It's a major, major point. He wants to come in and say, I was here 4 years, the stock market was really bullish, reelect me another 4 years, I'll give you another bullish market cycle. That's what he wants. This is not a secret. So it's very important to resolve this China-US conflict. So here's what I think. I think the majority of price action is already pricing in this conundrum we're having between US and China. And I believe prices right now are overreacting to the actual issue. If you look at a lot of semiconductor stocks, they're showing extreme selling pressure the last few weeks. So right now, we're reaching oversold territory. So in my opinion, the worst is behind us. I believe China and US will resolve their differences in the next year, not in the next year or two, in the next month or two. And I believe stocks will test new highs within the next 8 weeks. So I do believe this is a good time to start beginning to invest, beginning to look at stocks that have a lot of cross-collateralization or cross-correlation with China. I would start looking at strong tech stocks, strong semiconductor stocks that have been beaten up, and other tech stocks that have strong relationship to China that have been beaten up and where their price action is already pricing in China. And most of them, we're seeing it already. So it's a good time to jump into those stocks right now. If you're tired of stressing over the trade war's threat to your portfolio, then click the button below now to find out more about my live briefing tomorrow at noon Eastern, where I'll give you a live stock pick and tell you more about my new strategy that's so popular it sells out hours after it goes public. I'm reopening it for a very limited time to serious, dedicated traders. Will you be one of them?